My relationship with money started as a child. I wasn't actually born in Canada. I was born in China, in the Sichuan province, and my parents did not have a lot of money growing up. They didn't have a lot of money growing up, and basically I was a child that was living in rural China with very little money, and I used to spend time digging around in medical waste heaps to find elastic bands to make a skipping rope. That was normal. Like my friends were like, let's go dig around, find a skipping rope. My parents couldn't actually, my mom couldn't afford like a can of Coke, because I wanted to drink some Coke, and she was like, we can't afford that, right? And then after we actually immigrated to Canada and my dad bought me a can of Coke, I took a sip and it was the best drink I ever had. I had a massive nosebleed, by the way, because I was so excited. And then after nursing that can of Coke for hours, I wouldn't even let them throw the can away. Like, that's how precious it was. I kept it for a toothbrush holder. I used it to curl my hair. I just refused to let them throw away that can of Coke. So that starting point, having lived in abject poverty and then coming to Canada and seeing that you really don't need very much to be happy. Like, I had gotten a lot better in terms of circumstance from when I was growing up, that my parents were very appreciative of everything that we had. And they always instilled this quality in me that you should be very grateful for everything that you have. And despite going to school and being bullied by kids for having second hand-me-down clothes, for having, home DIY haircuts, none of that stuff mattered, because my parents knew that it could always be worse, because they had lived through war, they had lived through famine, they had lived through the Cultural Revolution. So to them, I had it all. So growing up, I did have to be very frugal just because we didn't really have the money. But I think that actually helped me in a way. That helped me because unlike my other friends who could just throw money at the problem whenever they needed some new clothes or some new gadget, for me, I had to be innovative. Like, for example, my parents couldn't afford me to get Christmas presents or any gifts like that. So I would just make my own toys. Like, I would make my own dollhouse out of like a cardboard box, and I would ride my bike everywhere and then walk to school. It allowed you to be more creative because of the constraints. So that helped. I think that actually gave me strength. So from that poverty angle, but seeing the perspective from my parents that it could be so much worse, I saw it as a strength building thing rather than something that hindered me going forward. I think what launched me was really that wake up call, seeing my coworker almost die at his desk. And then the really scary thing is that he went back to work just 1 week later, like nothing had happened, because he was so afraid of looking weak and losing his job. So then I started thinking, that's your priority in life? People have been sucked into this status quo of, I have to work until I'm 65. I have to pay for the house, that there was no other way. That was my wake-up call. I did not want to be working until I died at my desk. I wanted my life to count for something.